Joining us now, the mayor of Highland Park, Illinois, Nancy Rotering. Madam Mayor, I know there are some 40 to 50 people who were injured. Do you have any information on the injured and how they're doing, and how is the community holding up?
The community is still in just unbelievable grief and sadness. You saw that from one of your earlier speakers. The first day it was shock, and now it's being processed. We are now preparing funerals, and the folks who are in the hospitals, I will be reaching out to them later today. I wanted to give them some time and some space to stabilize. But to your earlier point, we came together as a community to celebrate freedom on the 4th of July. This was our first parade in 2 years after the pandemic, and it was as joyful as a community gathering could ever be. And to see this turned around, this sick terror from somebody who grew up here, and to your other earlier point, there's no reason for him to have been able to access a weapon of war. There's no reason for the carnage that unfolded in the middle of our celebration. All of us were there. And if we weren't there, we were there in our hearts. We are feeling this rip through our community. It's going to take a long time to heal.
Mayor Rotering, our hearts are with you and your community as well. As we've been saying for the last couple of days, that looked like just about every 4th of July parade in this country, one we've all been to, and can't imagine what you all went through that day. I was interested to read that you had a connection to this alleged gunman. You were his Cub Scout leader, I think, when he was a young man. You actually ran against his father in a mayoral election. Do you have any sense, maybe not firsthand, but just talking to people in the community in the last couple of days, of what happened to this young man, of what drove him to this place?
I don't know, but I can tell you when he was 6, he was a quiet little boy, and clearly something has gone on in his life. I'm going to leave that to the authorities to decipher, but to bring this to his hometown. Look, I'm not going to give him the out that there's a mental health issue. I'm sorry for what he has been dealing with, if that's the case. We need to take guns out of the hands of anybody who can perpetrate this kind of damage to a community. And so, to your earlier point, England, everybody in this world has folks who have mental health challenges, who play violent video games, who may have anger management issues. We need to stop access to assault weapons. We banned assault weapons in large capacity magazines in Highland Park in the wake of Sandy Hook in 2013. We need the rest of the country to catch up with us. There is no reason we should be going through this every single week. I've heard from so many mayors across the country who sent me the handbook for mayors of what to do in the wake of a mass shooting. And all the kids who are on this route knew what to do because their entire lives they've been planning for some mass shooter to come into their day. That's disgusting. That's not freedom. That's a bunch of hooey. And we need to take this out of our community and out of our country.
Yeah, Mayor, can you give us some insight on the situation where the father actually helped the son with his permit to get a gun? The father who obviously knew in 2019 that he had serious problems when police were called and removed weapons from his home. What can you tell us about that? Obviously, a lot of people in the community understandably upset at that.
Right. And I reached out to the Illinois State Police, and they reconstructed the timeline. At that point, there weren't red flag laws. And so it looks like there was sort of falling through the cracks within the confines of the laws that existed at that point. His father apparently was able to sponsor his FOID application. I will leave that to the authorities to follow up with him. But suffice it to say, that law needs to be changed. And we've seen the beginning of that federally and statewide. But we also need to talk about if in all of these instances, people are bringing lawfully acquired weapons, those laws need to be changed. If the law is there to support the safety of the community, then we need to change those laws because it's not doing its job. And lawfully acquired assault weapons being used week after week after week of mass shootings tells me that our legal system needs to address this.
Mayor Nancy Rotering of Highland Park, Illinois, thank you very much for being on the show this morning.